question. What's your favorite Digimon? Because now we're talking about Digimon, and that's a question that has a lot of different answers. Like, what makes a good Digimon? Is it because they look cool? Yeah, basically. I cared a lot about Digimon when I was a kid. Actually, around this time too. Just being a cool kid in like the early 2000s, like late 90s. It started with Tamagotchi. I really wanted to do like the original like cage Digivice, but I never got. Can you like calm down or what? All right, he's not coming down. But that's the one that I wanted. Like, I actually did want like a Tamagotchi. I didn't even know Digimon existed until like I saw it, and I was like, oh, that's really cool. That's the thing that I want, and I got it, and it was the coolest thing. Like raising like a little buddy, and like the best thing to me was that we could fight him. Like I had a couple of friends that had him too, and we were able to compete and fight. It was so cool. But I think like I had some shitty like I wanted to go for like a Monzaemon, so like I was really bad at raising my Digimon, but I was able to like turn it around, which was cool. Oh, that's not how water works. I had a Digivice until my friend's little brother flushed it down their toilet, and I was so bummed. I really wish he hadn't. Like that was such a disappointment to me. Because then I lost that, and I didn't have a Digivice anymore. And it hurt, you know? But then the show came out, I really enjoyed the show, and then I got the Digivice from the show. Which wasn't just raising the Digimon. Like this one's like the step counter, and every so many steps, you know, X amount of steps, you get a fight. And it was cool. It was, I think I enjoyed that more than like raising Digimon. Like picking a Digimon partner, one who was able to like go through all of their different stages and like during the fights and, you know, go through boss fights. It was more of a game to me, and I think I enjoyed that more than just like, oh, I gotta raise my Tyrannosaurusmon to become a, I don't know, I'm trying to remember, like a Seadramon or something like that. I don't know. It's like my dude like that I picked in that game was always Patamon. I love that dude. I don't know where my Patamon toy is, but I always loved that guy. And it was good. It was a lot of fun. And then like the other kids at school got into it too. And we were like having like fights in the library. And it was awesome. It was such a good time. I think I got to a point where like season 2 came out. Still didn't like Digimon as much, but I still like playing with the toy. And then played those. And then season 3 came out with the weird card one, which was definitely a season I was not a fan of, but I liked Digimon. And just playing it was really, really fun. It was actually like really cool. That monkey didn't give a shit. It was cool. Like I don't know what I did. Like I played it so much that I stopped getting fights for like 10,000, 20,000 steps or something like that. But when I did, because your Digimon actually had levels, is like my dude would shoot up like a bunch of levels. And I think I became like the best at school. There was another kid that played with me, one of my buddies, who was the best at Digimon. That one was weird. You could hook it up to the computer and do online fights, and he said he was so good that Bandai or whoever emailed him and like, oh, you're #1 in the world at fighting as this Digimon, which, okay. But I got good at like kicking his ass because I just overpowered him. And then we got weird and we started like importing like Japanese Digivices. Which then led us to doing like Mega Man. Do you remember the Mega Man Battle Network? They had those the PETs, the pets. Before those came to America, like we were so like into the concept of like chip battling that we like ordered the Japanese one from this Okay, so like there's like import shops, because back then you couldn't just go on like Amazon and like import a cool Japanese toy or whatever. So like we had to go through like an import shop, and like we lived in San Diego at the time, which was kind of an easy place to get stuff from overseas, but it was easier to get stuff if it came from Hawaii. So we found like this import shop called like Toys and Joys that we would import all of our like Digimon stuff, or in this case, Mega Man. And holy shit, we did that. Like we imported a Japanese Mega Man Battle Network PETs. He got the Mega Man one, and I got the bass one, or the base one. Sorry, Forte, I think. But I got that one, and it was cool. We couldn't read any of the instructions, just not a lick of it. I had some Japanese neighbors, and like what happened was like we'd play, lose in a fight because it was kind of like a kid's gotcha, especially in the Japanese market. You would like buy these packs of chips, and it was random what you got in them. And come on, buddy, come on, monkey. Come on, monkey. So if you didn't have good chips, like even just the AI would kick your ass. So like you had to like pay attention to make sure like what you were doing. And we would die, and then our Mega Man wouldn't just come back. Like there was no way. Even though I had like the bass one, there was still no, like you still used Mega Man. Like that was the whole thing about him. But they would die, and we wouldn't know how to resurrect them. They would just stay dead. So I had to go to like my Japanese neighbors, who did offer to teach me Japanese, and I regret not doing it. Because if anything, just having a cool skill like that would have been awesome. But like they hosted transfer students from Japan. They were host families, and this dude was in high school, and I went up to him and I was like, "Hey man, can you translate this instruction manual for me? Like my Mega Man keeps dying, and we don't know like what to do." And he like read it, and he was like really amused that we like cared so much about like these like dumb toys. But he did it. He like read it out for us, and he was like, if like, because it's in Japan, it's Rockman, like video game facts 101. Did you know game and shit? But he was like, he was reading it. It's like, okay, if your Mega Man lose battle, shake for some time, which kind of understanding a little bit more about Japanese language structure makes sense. Like why it was like that way. I was like, oh, okay, so we did it. We like resurrected our Mega Man by like shaking for some time. It was cool. I'm sure kids and toys are much different. Like, and there's you know, oh no, there's probably a bunch of like kids still out there who like did the same thing that we did. Like, but it's easier for them. You know, it's not old man ranting like back in my day. It was so much difficult or hard. It's cool. Like I'm glad that it's easier for kids to enjoy the stuff that they're able to enjoy. And especially like if you're like just a weird, you know, like us, like just weird weeaboos who it's just how it was back then. But it was really, really cool. If you're watching this video and you've had to import a toy from Japan, how'd you do it? Can you just go on like amazon.co.jp and just order the stuff that you want? Have you gone through like one of those import sites? A process I do not care for. Those like the services that you can like just buy whatever you want. I think it's just kind of a pain in the ass, and the shipping is so much. Like, what was nice about the site that we were using is that it was still through. This sucks, by the way. it was in America, so it was easier to actually, like, the shipping costs weren't that bad, even though it was still coming over the ocean. Like, what we should have done is we should have tried to find a website that was in, like, LA or even locally, but we were kids in middle school. Like, our town in San Diego didn't have it. There was no, like, import shops that was, like, catering to my needs. They weren't stocking the latest Digivices. As we got, like, grew up in high school, we still did play with Digimon, which is a little weird. We got the pendulum Digivices, if you've ever seen those. Same concept of raising a creature, but like this time it actually had like one of the like the shake. It let you shake and like power up your Digimon that way. Okay, I got a game. Hold on. There we go. That was the last one. Yes. Yes. Oh. Monkey. Monkeys. But we were still ordering from Toys and Joys, and I think we did until like our early adulthood. My buddy said that he did. I stopped ordering stuff like that. Because shit's expensive when you're in your 20s. It's nuts. Even these days, it's worse, for sure. All right. But like that site stayed open. The pandemic didn't kill it because it was just a small shop in Hawaii called Toys and Joys. It was in Honolulu, and I tried to order something once. I was just like, I want to get a thing. Where does this exist? And tried that. Just gone. And then like when I got married, that's where I went, was Honolulu. And I even like looked up like, where was the store? I need to know. And it was already closed. And it was out of the way. You know, like when you're in Hawaii, you're like, I'm going to the beach. It's nice. So I just didn't have time to go to like a dead store, unfortunately. But I would have loved to gone and just like have told them like, hey, in middle school, I ordered a bunch of weird shit from you. In like the early 2000s. Thanks for doing that. Thanks for, which again is a weird thing to, I guess, tell a store, but I bet they would have enjoyed it. Tank. Okay, I don't want to read all this. It's too much.